On July 3, the U.S. House of Representatives narrowly passed a sweeping new spending and tax cut bill, with 218 votes in favor and 214 against. President Donald Trump quickly signed it into law on Independence Day, July 4, calling it a major step toward his promise to "Make America Great Again." Officially known as the Public Spending and Tax Reduction Act, Trump nicknamed it the "Beautiful Big Bill," OBBBA, a slogan he hopes will define his second term. First, record-breaking tax cuts. The core of OBBBA is to extend tax cuts from the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, TCJA, that Trump passed during his first term. Provisions that were set to expire at the end of this year will now continue indefinitely. This means businesses will still be able to deduct 100% of equipment and research costs, while most individual taxpayers will keep lower tax rates. Workers will see the standard tax deduction increase by $1,000 per person and $2,000 per couple through 2028. New deductions will also cover tips, overtime pay, and auto loans. The child tax credit will rise from $2,000 to $2,200, and seniors earning less than $75,000 annually can deduct up to $6,000. The cap on state and local tax, SALT, deductions will quadruple to $40,000. Altogether, these tax breaks are projected to cost about $4.5 trillion over the next decade. For service workers who rely heavily on tips, the new law will let them exclude up to $25,000 of tip income from federal taxes. Overtime workers can exclude up to $12,500. These benefits phase out for individuals earning above $150,000 per year. Second, tightening Medicaid rules. To balance massive tax cuts, the law cracks down on spending for social welfare programs. Medicaid, the health insurance program for low-income Americans, faces stricter conditions. Starting December 2026, healthy adults without children or disabilities must work at least 80 hours a month to remain eligible. Re-enrollment will now be required every 6 months instead of once a year, with extra paperwork to prove income and residency. States that run Medicaid infrastructure will see their federal funding share drop from 6% to 3.5% by 2032. Medicaid funds also can't be used for gender transition services. The Congressional Budget Office, CBO, estimates these tougher rules could cause 11.8 million Americans to lose Medicaid coverage within the next decade. Third, food stamps also face new limits. The Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP, widely known as food stamps, will also see major changes. Over 40 million low-income Americans currently rely on SNAP, but OBBBA requires states to share more of the cost if they have a payment error rate above 6%. In addition, healthy adults without dependents must now meet stricter work requirements to keep their benefits. The CBO predicts that about 3 million people could lose their food assistance under the new rules. Fourth, big boost for defense and border security. While trimming welfare spending, the Beautiful Big Bill injects about $350 billion into border security and defense. This includes funding to continue building the U.S.-Mexico border wall, add 100,000 beds in migrant detention centers, and hire 10,000 more Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, agents plus more Border Patrol officers. Trump aims to carry out what he calls the largest deportation operation in U.S. history, targeting roughly 1 million undocumented immigrants per year. The Pentagon will receive billions to expand shipbuilding, develop new weapons, and improve service members' quality of life. Around $25 billion is set aside for expanding the Iron Dome defense system. There is also funding for the Artemis mission to explore the Moon and Mars, and more money for radiation exposure compensation. Fifth, cuts to clean energy incentives. The new law will end tax credits for new and used electric vehicles earlier than planned and reduce incentives for renewable energy like wind and solar. Meanwhile, tax breaks for mining metallurgical coal, used in steel production, will expand. Sixth, deficit concerns: who pays the price? The CBO projects that the Beautiful Big Bill could add nearly $3.3 trillion to the federal deficit between 2025 and 2034. Still, the Trump administration insists the shortfall will shrink over time thanks to new tariffs and spending cuts elsewhere. With this bill, every promise I made to the people of Iowa in 2024 has come true. We're saving our country, Trump told supporters at a rally in Iowa right after the House vote. In short, the beautiful big bill bears Trump's clear imprint. Massive tax cuts, stricter welfare rules, bigger defense budgets, and tough border security. But whether it truly makes America big and beautiful, or leaves more Americans without health coverage and food assistance, remains a fiercely debated question. This is short trending news. Thank you for your watching. Subscribe for more.